Meeting to order. We don't have a guest. Is there anybody online?
Not other than staff, and Tanya's joining us too, from Clark Dietz.
They're there or not yet?
They are online.
Okay. I'd like to welcome all the guests online. Roll call, please.
Zagami,
Here.
Jordan,
Here.
Hubbard is excused, Lumper,
Here.
Schuster.
Here. Item 4, public comment. Anybody in line like to make comment?
No one came off mute.
Okay. Item 5, approval of 9/8/25 Public Works and Utility Committee meeting. Mr. Wishes.
To approve. Okay, second.
Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have it. Item 6, acknowledge September 2025 water and sewer permit.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have it. Item staff reports, item 7, CIP update, Michael?
Yeah, I guess my only question is if, Jen, do you have any desire to move item 12 up on the agenda?
Sure, if you want to.
Jen is here regarding item 12, the potential CSM and sale of village-owned property on Foxtail Court. We take care of that, then she can go back and we can do the rest.
Could you look this way when you talk,
Sorry,
so I can hear you?
yeah, so,
When you face that way, I can.
okay,
Thank you.
yeah, so I was just wondering if the committee's okay with if we move item 12 up.
What's your wishes?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. You don't have to vote on that, do you?
No, it's fine. If it's consensus, it's fine.
All right, potential CSM and sale of a village-owned property on Foxtel Court. Go ahead.
All right, so if you scroll to your packet to page 49, you'll see the layout of a lot on Foxtail Court that was purchased by the village back when Foxtail Court became a subdivision back in the early 2000s. It was purchased for a stormwater retention area, but as you can see, the entire lot is not needed for that. So staff has been discussing it. There were some issues with this lot and neighboring property owners with mowing it in the past because it's just basically an undeveloped lot. With looking at what the village has for lots that we own, this would be a good one to put back on the tax roll because it could be a developable duplex lot. And I'm sure you've all heard in the news that housing is a big topic, and this would put basically a lot that could be used as single family or a 2-family back on the tax rolls.
What's that area currently zoned?
It's 2F, so it's for duplex. Yeah, so everything along there is a duplex basically, except for the lot right next door is a 0 lot line duplex.
What did you arrive at the value?
We were just kind of looking at what the prices were in the area for lots. So we kind of know what's going for a single family home lot, and then you can just look up on the MLS to see what people are selling. Just lots in general for.
How much did that one that we sold at auction go for? Do you remember by chance?
Which one is that?
It was the one we filled in, then we rezoned it so they could build a duplex.
The one on Mesker.
It's on Mesker and
That was the tax deed.
We didn't actually sell that. The
County.
county did.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
I remember it went off at auction. I couldn't remember if we sold it.
I'm not sure how much they sold it for.
I was just curious because
So how much we pay for that?
Oh, I don't even know.
You're asking 60,000, but wondering how much we pay for it.
A lot less, I would guess. 'cause that
Probably a
was
lot less
25
than
years
2000. It was probably 2006, 2005.
20 years ago.
Years ago.
Yeah, it was quite a long time ago. Lots back then were probably under 20,000. I know when I built my house in 2004, it was 29 for almost an acre.
How much the rest of those lots going for?
They all have homes on them. This is the only available lot.
So they sold them a long time ago, or they?
Yeah, everything's been developed on this street for probably 10, 15 years.
I'm just trying to see 60,000 is the right number. That's-
That's just what we're proposing, so you can go higher, you can go lower.
Well, we gotta have some base. If the property in there goes for 70,000, so that's a number, we should go for it, but if it is less than that,
Yeah, there's no duplex lots are hard to come by in the village, so in talking to Roman, you know, he gave a general idea of what a single family lot would go for. Those are pushing in the 50s. Some of them are even higher, depending where they're at. So that's just where we're starting. You can, the big question is, do we want to sell it? And looking at it, Michael was okay with creating the outlot. Right now, there's just an easement, on the lot 5 of Foxtail. There's a 10-foot easement, drainage easement there. And there would be a 10-foot dedicated outlet access with this new CSM.
Well, I would agree that it would make sense to sell it. But if we're gonna do this, why wouldn't we just do the CSM and then sell it at auction? If we really wanna get whatever the best current price is for it, and like, I agree with you that it seems that there aren't very many duplex lots. And if we did a good job of advertising it for sale, I would think that you'd probably get 2 or 3 interested people in it. The problem with us just putting a realtor sign in front of it, then it's always in the back of our mind, well, so what's it really worth? But if we actually have 2 or 3 people bidding on it, I think we'd all feel pretty good about getting a fair price for it. And then it would be back on the tax roll right away.
well, we should have a starting point, so even if we put them, we have to tell them 60,000 is the minimum. Other than that, they may come out any number.
I don't agree with that. I think that you just put it out, you could have a minimum, but I'm thinking that the minimum would be 30 or 40, you know. Because the idea is you want to sell it for some price.
I'm thinking the other way, your realtor gets a lot, is going to provide a lot more customers than an auction. I think you're better off with a realtor.
Yeah, they advertise.
Yes.
Then you're gonna pay 6.
We were trying to avoid paying the cost for the realtor. We do have the ability to put it on locate in Wisconsin. It's more for commercial properties, but it's basically for it's basically the MLS system.
And it would be that much different than an auction in the sense that you could say you would have to put your sale documents in an enclosed envelope with a starting price at 60,000 and we open them on this date and time. I mean, we
And
can
we
put that
can
as
do a
part of the
request
ad.
for, I think we tried that once before on some other properties. They're usually commercial, but I mean, we can do a request for proposals on it, or I don't even know what you would call that. Or is it RFQ or is it?
Or even, we would just say, put what you're offering for the parcel. We're listing it at 60 in a sealed envelope and we open them at this date and time and then. I mean, you still could reject all of the offers if you didn't want to take them. But somebody might say, I really want the parcel and put 70 down.
Whoosh. Question, the 60,000 is based on comparables, right?
Well, there isn't a lot of comparables out there. We looked at what a single family was going for, and we just upped it a little bit. Yeah, there isn't very, I mean, you can look in the metro area, there are not duplex lots available.
A realtor is going to give you I would think as part of their job would give you, hey, this lot is worth X because they're in the business every day, correct?
Well, if you want a number, we could probably ask, we could ask Greg. I mean, he would know too.
I just don't think we need a realtor to sell it. You know, I mean, I think there'd be enough interest in it without going through the expense of adding a realtor's fee in it. My experience with realtors selling lots is they really aren't very interested in doing it because there isn't a lot of commission involved in that for them.
Right, yeah, that's true.
6% of a number under 100, I agree with you.
Yeah, right.
Commission's better on a million.
Hard to get them
dollar house.
enthusiastic about
Right.
a lot of
Yeah.
effort that goes into selling something that doesn't generate a significant amount of commission for them.
Right, that's true.
I think 60,000 is a reasonable number. And that should be minimum for it. It doesn't go, it doesn't go.
Yeah, if land records is right, we bought the lot for 38,000 in 2011.
Which one?
We bought the lot for 38,300 in 2011.
2011,
In 2011, we paid 38,000.
38,000, so. yeah. That's 14 years ago.
Yeah,
It'd be quite a bit of appreciation to get half again as much for half as much.
Yeah.
yeah.
What's your wishes?
Yeah, that makes you question it, right? Maybe it's not 60.
So Jamie, tell me a little bit about how you would go about setting that up to solicit bids, so to speak. If, you know, you're saying that'd be like, almost like some sort of a contract bid? Were you thinking, or how would that work?
Yeah, I think we would just ask people to put their offer to purchase in a sealed envelope. We could put it on our website, we could put it on Locate Wisconsin, that it would have to be here by a certain date and time, and that we would open them at a certain date and time, and then you could determine who had the highest offer.
Okay, all
Just
right,
like a bidding.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Okay,
And you could also, I mean, if you didn't get an offer that you found acceptable, then you wouldn't be obligated to take any offer either.
well, that
So
makes
then
sense.
you don't have to say minimum. You can just,
Would you put a minimum? Joe?
you could. If the
Well, you
auction,
could,
if you
yeah,
go
yeah.
to the auction, they
Yeah,
put a
well,
minimum.
there should be some kind of a minimum because you don't wanna, you know,
Yeah,
you don't wanna waste a
get
lot of
fair
time
price.
looking at $25,000 or $30,000 bids, you know, so you should have. I think if you had some kind of a minimum, it would encourage people to be realistic about what they're sending for an offer to purchase, right?
We would still honor if someone wanted to work through a realtor. So if they asked for the realtor to write them the offer to sale, and we take that into consideration then too. I mean, if someone else wanted to work with a realtor and they said they get 2 or 3%, right, that would have to come
Yeah,
off.
right.
That would be part of what
Yeah.
we would consider in a sale document.
You accept the motion.
Okay, yeah, so I'd recommend to the Board of Trustees approval of the CSM for the sale of this future lot. And to set up an offer to purchase scenario for people to bid on purchase of that lot.
I'll second. Oh, go ahead.
Second,
No minimum?
I think the Board of Trustees can establish that.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Greg Schmidt, the assessor, to see
Yeah, that'd be good.
what he.
Where does the 60,000 come from?
We were looking online on what was on sale, right? based off of what's out there, but we can get an idea from him. He does put a fair market value on it, so
Yeah, Greg would be a good resource for that.
Yep.
I can send the CSM based off of the lot square footage. He should be able to figure that out.
Other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have it.
So Jen, just one question. How did you guys come to find this or think about this? What started the conversation on that or the dialogue?
The lot being
Yeah.
available, we actually had a neighbor's dispute in between the two properties. So, a lady who no longer lives there, I don't know if it started a year ago,
It's been going on for,
many years, I guess, a couple years. She owned her home, which was the 0 lot line duplex that's adjacent to it. And then there is a duplex that is a rental on the other side of this outlot, or this lot that the village owns.
Yeah.
And there's always been a discrepancy on mowing. So one of them has allergies and wants to mow down the grass. The other one wanted to save it for butterflies and
Oh,
things like that. But then the rest of the neighborhood complains about snakes and mice and everything, so.
this would be a great outcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for looking.
Item 7. CIP, Michael.
trying to just get a couple of these projects to the finish line. Weston Avenue, after last week, they got through the eastern chunk of rock just west of Ryan Street there, so been able to get several hundred feet of sewer and water main in now every day for the last week, and if we can continue that through this week.
Did you put the bedding on the water line? Sand, put the sand on it?
The bedding, yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, but we're hopefully by about the end of this week, they should be pretty close to having all the water and sewer mains done, which then leaves laterals and storm sewer, some of the culvert pipes left to, for all intents and purposes, we look to be in good shape. They have 2 pipe crews out working as well as a grading crew, so they're kind of just chasing each other to get this, to get the project buttoned up here before winter. So there's a section of curb and gutter that gets poured and that will be done this week. And then binder and asphalt paving should start next week on the areas that are done and pretty much continue until the whole project is done. So, and then Weston Avenue will be open to the public all the way through, and hopefully we don't touch it for many years to come. Schofield Ave, the concrete work is wrapping up, should be today. And then their fine grading and binder should be going down this week on between Normandy and Birch on those eastbound lanes. And again, I'll be working on restoration, potentially later this week or next week, and again, getting that open hopefully to traffic by the end of October. So
Great.
Is it striping?
that'd be right after. So as soon as they get surface down, they'll be coming in to stripe it because we want to be able to stripe it before we open all the lanes of traffic back up.
We need some certain temperature, I think, for that paint.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's at least as long as it's 40 and rising. It'll be fine, so. Get a sunny day and should be good to go.
Yeah, assume nobody drive on it, like those yellow mark on Mesker, Ross Avenue. Because people were parking at the side, I think they went over the line.
Yeah, or if there's I think some of those, they maybe swerve to
Yep.
go around something and just caught it a little bit in their tires. Yeah, Ross Ave, the Metro to Alderson project, we had the public information meeting last week, Wednesday here. There's maybe half a dozen people in attendance. It wasn't a lot, but
Excuse me, Michael.
yep.
how much time they need for that paint to dry out.
I think it kind of depends on the temperature, and might be an hour, or if it's,
Maybe we should open the road for that hours or couple hours. When you
Yeah.
get dry, then we can open the road.
and that's what they'll do, they'll wait, so the lanes that are closed now to any traffic, they'll paint those. And then when that's good, then it'll be kind of a slow, I guess, a soft opening, if you will, of traffic to then allow eastbound traffic to once again go on the eastbound lanes. And then, you know, kind of get traffic pushed over enough so that we can get the westbound skips put in.
Excuse me, the Ross Avenue project was Green Hack consulted before they put their two fancy signs up?
Yeah, they know,
They know, so we have enough. Or. we
they'll have to
enough-
move their signs.
Yeah, I figured that was the case, cause they spent a buck or two for those. Okay,
Yeah, I mean, Greenhead and Merrill Steel are two companies that we've met with separately on that to make sure, you know, design encompasses all of the turning movements they need for their semis and their loads, so.
I mean, those two fancy signs, they just.
Yeah, and they knew that, I mean, they
Alright,
didn't wanna wait, so. Put them in and they'll relocate them when they have to. Then Fuller Street, binder on that from Thomas to Ross should be, starting in tomorrow. Curb work, in between, kind of in that middle section from about Waste Management up to Rogan Lane. Again, also should be, they're staking that today, probably pouring that tomorrow, then they'll be doing flat work for the remaining sidewalk and driveway aprons. And, storm sewer on Rogan Lane is, kind of an ongoing task now to get that connected to the pond down at Kellyland Park.
All the elevation is okay,
The outlet elevation, did you say?
everything,
Yeah,
all the above. And how long more he's gonna keep the Ross Avenue closed like that?
fine,
I thought
so,
that was a short project.
well, then they pushed it out to saw cut it and get it graded for paving. So like I said, binder should be going down tomorrow. Could probably squeeze it back then.
Cause there almost accident there today, we were leaving, there was almost accident there.
Okay. From a vehicle swerving or pulling out?
Oh, yeah, he was in one line and you change it to the other lane. Without
Okay,
even, he was going fast too.
sure.
At Fuller and Ross?
Fuller and Ross.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
and that driveways change? The driveway they're gonna replace,
yeah, that should be
Done?
middle of this week.
well, it's not done yet.
No,
I thought they were gonna do it before they start doing the road.
well, that was the initial plan, and the last time the concrete crew was in, it was just their curb crew, it wasn't a flat work crew, so.
I don't think you have any flower to.
They did the aprons, so they'll be coming in back, and so. The crew they have in now will do the curb. Like today, tomorrow, possibly Wednesday if it spills over, and then they'll finish up the rest of the driveway aprons and sidewalk. Any other flat
The
work,
Driveway.
I know, you're,
to
Yep.
the house.
yeah, so they'll do that driveway when that crew is here, middle to end of this week.
Okay,
And communicating with the homeowner and the concrete contractor. Couple times a week trying to get that schedule figured out, because that homeowner also has a few other items that they're trying to take care of on their property. So. I guess the other Ross Ave projects are just kind of ongoing through design and getting those some of those details taken care of for 2028 construction, so those designs will need to be completed by 2027. See, we did submit the Clean Water Fund loan for the Business 51's Highway 29 Storm Pond at the end of September, so. Waiting to hear back on those results, if we do get any kind of, I guess, principal forgiveness funding, or if it would just be the regular loan funding. For Alderson and Jelnik, we did meet with utility staff, earlier today. Kind of look at the configuration of that intersection, we have 2 sanitary lines on Jelnik that come into it. We have some larger, storm sewer as well as, water main, so trying to figure out how we can, best modify our utility so that when there's a roundabout there, we're not parked in the middle and holding up traffic, so. I think we got a game plan together there and we'll move forward with that. And probably in the next month or so, need to get a right-of-way plat together as well as we kind of finalize the location of the roundabout at that intersection. The bike and ped master plan survey is on the website. There are some sheets here if anybody hasn't taken the survey or has a couple friends they want to hand these out to. It's be good to get as many different people in the community responding and understanding what aspects they think are lacking, maybe where they think we're doing a good job. What projects maybe are necessary, so, or even if it's a priority or not a priority to them, so. I guess the more feedback we get, the better we'll know if we're on the right track with that project. And for well 4, the GAC tanks have been installed. Initial startup took place last week. We took test results, so we're just really waiting on those to get the okay from the DNR to start pumping back into the system. So hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have those test results back and can put well 4 back online. And then the well 3 project is in the packet for approval there. And we'll get working back on the Cedar Creek Interceptor route. Leaving that on there and just have it.
How long more are we gonna go with this?
Till we get one of these other projects done, it's hard to prioritize, get that one back up on the priority list.
What they have to do their job. I mean, I don't know what you're gonna do on it.
Nobody has a job to do on it yet until we hire somebody to do it. That's where
I
we're
thought we
at.
have my tech and
My tech did the initial design, but we never got past some of the DNR and right of way, so we need to get the right of way portion figured
I
out.
thought that consultant, who was it?
MSA,
Yeah.
we haven't gotten a contract together with them yet, because I haven't had the time to review everything with them.
But they also expressed that they didn't have the capacity at this moment either to take it on. They needed to get through a couple projects too.
Yeah. So,
Couple more years, I think, maybe. Yeah.
well, we'll try to get it before 2030. But yes, I know it's a priority. We need to get back on it. It's just. It's only so much time in the day. But then here's just kind of a snapshot of where we're at with the kind of current projects outstanding. As far as with the construction cost, where we're at percentage wise, and engineering contracts are listed as well. So. Yes. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, a couple of change orders tonight, right?
One change order is on the agenda for a time extension.
For Weston,
That's for the hospital area repaving project.
any question for Michael? Okay. Thank you. Item 8, street operation update.
Yes, the DPW crew finished working on raising manholes, water valves for all the overlays within the village. We adjusted a total of 54 manholes and 31 water valves for all these projects. We also added a gravel lift from Heron to Anastasia. About 4 inches thick and we compacted it, to beef the road up where we added culverts as well in that area. And then American Asphalt paved that project, as they paved Shorey Ave.
When is that, do you know?
It's
Sorry.
paved.
It is paved.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they paved it back, yes.
Okay. When, today you said?
No, they did it, that was a couple weeks ago when on Shorey. And then the village contract with Norcon Company to do the concrete repairs along Schofield Avenue. We had some blowouts over the summer. We had them patched up and waited for the hotter temperatures to go and get those repaired. And while they were there, there was some failing inlets in the curb line. They replaced along with a couple damaged panels.
Do you have any concern for any further failures?
I'm sure there will be with the cracking that's in there, but it's always happening in the warmer temperatures when we get rain and then we get that hot weather and then it expands the water in the cracks. But this year was just 2 of them, so it wasn't overly bad, but the more cracks there are, the more it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I guess we had talked internally as staff too, kind of looking at this area between Mesker and Ryan Street next year to get maybe a little more of a bigger street maintenance project done in there there are a lot of panels that are kind of starting to fail and a lot of bad joints in there, so we can try to package a little more together and hopefully get to it before it turns into what Schofield Ave between Normandy and Birch start looking like, so.
Patchwork quilt?
Yeah,
And we also had hired Warden Enterprise to screen topsoil. They screened 4,000 yards for the village. That topsoil will be used on Fuller Street, and as long as, and with the village using it for our projects here and there.
Are we using in Kennedy Park too?
No, that's all Kennedy Park topsoil is.
they mostly just stockpiled what they had there, spread it back out.
Is that enough?
Yeah.
We did use some sand there.
Yeah, we brought some sand fill back in. But for the most part, all the topsoil they were able to reuse.
Which made several children very sad because it was a very popular pile.
Is the good subsoil, no screening, nothing?
They hardly raked it and. I mean, like on the fields themselves, I mean, that's turf rolls of turf that they're putting in on the fields, so. It's really the outside areas to blend back into the rest of the park.
I think still they have to screen some topsoil for inside of it, or some soil for inside of it, in the field area.
In the field area, it's either the artificial turf or rolls of turf that got rolled out.
Okay. All right,
Right, we also had Portage County line painters, along with a couple village staff helping placing cones and signs. Roads, they included Callan Avenue, Eau Claire, Alderson, Volkman, Ross Avenue, Heron Street, Mesker, Shorey, Corzella, Schofield Avenue, and Ryan Street. Just a lot of spray touch-ups, and then a lot of them, a few of those actually, I should say, were roads that had GSB coating on it, so that reestablished the lines on those.
And I just have to bring up again what Shane brought up earlier. It's just, what are we gonna do not to have that look horrible in the future? It's just, I mean, on Mesker when they striped, I mean, it looks just terrible.
Actually, what happened there was, people were, like, they were not, they're very impatient. So as they were setting cones, they would go past the guy setting the cones and drive almost right behind the truck. And so I don't know how, I mean, it's, they put signs at every intersection.
Well, then have a police officer follow the paint guy, and when they go past next time.
Right.
I just think I think it's just to spend money and have it look so embarrassingly terrible. I personally was embarrassed. I said, what happened here? And I said, I have no idea, but I'll find out.
Yeah, it was the vehicles that are,
Yeah,
get around.
I don't know how you guys feel. I just feel like we paid a lot of money and it looks terrible. You know, I mean, I'm embarrassed.
We just draw on it.
You can't eliminate stupid people.
But you can, because how long does it take? 60 minutes? So if we just station a police officer there, would that end that in the future?
It might.
And that's another whole issue, assuming there's an officer available at that time, or they're not on something else.
Right. Yeah, I don't have the answer for that.
I mean, a lot of times there is a person also standing there trying to keep people off of it and. I mean, those areas that did track off should wear off sooner too. Cause it's not as thick, it was, came off a wheel that then drove. And we can try to, I know sometimes you can use like a black spray paint and try to erase it on the road.
They probably took some paint with them, if that's,
Oh, to look at mess. It's terrible.
Awful, yes.
It just, it
I haven't seen it.
looks like the striping crew was drinking beer and then got in and.
People are in too much of a hurry and have no idea what's going on and just, oh.
No, the
I
one
got
on
yellow
West
paint
was,
on my car.
there was a vehicle parking there. And instead of just getting away from the vehicle, they went over the line and they turned. So it was fresh, they just. And it's gonna stay until next time maybe.
Is there anything on them to make sure it's? I mean, should it be our issue if we're paying them to do something?
Well, they do put up signs, they put up cones at the intersection and stuff
Yeah.
to like deter people, but it doesn't help.
they had flaggers too. I mean, when I saw them,
Yes,
they had people on each end, physically in the road too.
yes, trying
So,
to,
Yeah,
like, who shakes that? I think the vehicle lot was parked on the side of the road on that one. And then they had plenty of room, but they decided to drive over the paint, so.
I mean, they put the beads down to try to keep it so as if you do drive over, it doesn't track as much. I don't know. And you can go on any street and a lot of times you can notice tracking of paint. So. It's a tough one. And we can ask them to come back and try to spray it. And I mean, they'll get our lines, but trying to figure out how do you,
But it's not their fault really. You can bring them back. You
yeah,
have to pay them.
correct, yeah.
because They had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, luckily Portage County does I mean, I think they do a really good job working with us on this and we pay probably at least half of what we would pay a private contractor to do it. And these guys, put down a lot of paint in a short amount of time for us.
I can go and try some of that black, we do have black paint that we can clean that area up.
I just was more trying to figure out how do you prevent it? Is there a way to prevent it in the future? Cause it's just is disappointing. Like I said, it should look really nice and it doesn't.
It's more than one place, actually.
Yeah, well, I did, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
But then, DPW staff also did, we had some residential curb line repairs and sidewalk repairs. We poured, just that was cracking curb by driveway entrances. And the sidewalk was repaired for the water department had the valve stack that needed replacement and we had to remove the curb. And the DPW mechanic shop, the number 81 street sweeper, the auxiliary engine service, tire repair, and replace the curtains on the vac hoses. Truck number 9 was prepared for winter service. Replaced rear suspension arms that were worn and the bushings on the wing plow as well. The light truck repair service rotated tires on 288 and 201. Replaced brake units on, or unit one. Reed, the mechanics, intern did the repairs on these vehicles, oversaw by the mechanics. Unit number 19 is the roller that was prepped for shouldering service, that strobe lights upgraded. The light plow truck services, pins and bushings on unit 8, also the hydraulic seals and replacement of the pump motor. And unit 145 hydraulic pump repairs and number 29 hydraulic valve block repairs. The work that's not pictured was complete fabrication of a barricade rack. Unit 202 repaired the transfer tank cavitation issue. Unit number 23 installed a battery tender. Unit 404 hydraulic hose repairs. Unit 32 replaced the seat motor. Unit number 90 was the tailgate latch was failing, so they fixed that. Unit 61, the ditch mooring tractor. Flail mower hydraulic replaced the motor seals and bearings, replaced boom mower blades as well. Did the Kennedy pool fabrication of a stainless steel valve extension. And started rust proofing all the equipment with a fluid film coating. And the new bucket truck is on order. And is expected to be in by the first quarter of 2026. And this new swap loader triaxle truck is at Truck Country getting pre-delivery inspection done. And then will be going to truck equipment for its update.
Any question? You are very busy, huh?
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
You guys are very busy.
I won't ask for any extra work.
You're doing pretty good.
Good, good. Item 9, utility operation update.
So we had a couple miscellaneous well maintenance items for a couple chemical feed line repairs. We did have a couple service line leaks that the guys repaired, one on Schofield Ave, one along Jelnik Ave. We had 2 water leaks on our distribution system in Rothschild, one on Weston Ave and Urban Street, right at the very end of our system that is in Rothschild. We also had one very near to there on Volkman Street and Weston Avenue. We actually had another one very near to that, just to the east of there on Weston Avenue, east of Volkman, that we did last week, I think that was. So I'm not sure what's going on in that area, but it seems to be a hotbed for some leaks lately. Some of the pictures are included in the report. Had a curb stack repair on Perry Street, collected our private well sampling. Michael mentioned the treatment plant. Some of the photos in the report of that as well. It's quite an impressive thing that fills up that open space is pretty well filled up now. I guess in the pictures there, if Michael scrolls back up, you can see those first 2 pictures on top are actually some bag filters that are in well 4. So well 4 pumps through that prior to going to the treatment plant, which then goes into the GAC tanks. There's a semi trailer that's actually showing how they turn the GAC into a slurry that gets pumped then into the tanks themselves. And then there's just some temporary tanks for the meantime until we get our well 3 project going. If anybody wants to take a look at it, I mean, we can, if you want to take a look at the treatment plant, kind of see what it's looking like now, feel free to reach out and we can probably swing by and peek at it if you'd like to.
How about Sternberg, right?
Yeah. So, and like Michael mentioned, we're hoping to get the results of our PFAS sampling here this week, and then we can get the DNR's blessing to pump it to the distribution system. Then we can hopefully give wells 1 and 5 a little break We still got flushing, scratch that. We had, continued with a number of lateral inspections. Our water main flushing is continuing. As well as some of our ongoing street projects. It's a little bit less for our guys at this point. A lot of the utility portion of those projects has been completed. A lot of photo opportunities this past month, though. On the sewer side, we had to pull our Mescaline lift station pump for some maintenance. Our guys are continuing sewer jetting. We kind of switched gears and jumped on our lift stations. We like to clean those a couple times a year. We wanted to get those cleaned down before the cold weather sets in. We had a little bit of maintenance on our vac truck. We cleaned and collected all our pH probe data, cleaned some of our bad spots.
When you jet the sewer system, you push everything toward the lift station, right?
No, we kind of, when we're doing, wait, did you say when we clean when we're sewer jetting?
Yeah.
Well, we have the big reel that kind of shoots it out from kind of manhole to manhole, and then you kind of pull it back with the vac truck set up. You kind of pull everything back and then you suck that up, and then we decant it off, and then we can dump the solids out.
Still you're going down slope.
Right, so we do kind of clean everything towards the lift stations, though.
Right.
We kind of make sure we're going with the direction of the flow, yes. So then we as we're cleaning the sanitary sewer, then we can get to those lift stations and clean them out as well, yeah.
Right.
SCADA, kind of still in review with the treatment plant stuff. We're kind of making sure we got all the kind of bells and whistles in the right spots to make sure we're getting the proper alarms that we need. Still a lot of diggers, locates for the guys, work orders for the guys. I guess some of our, touched on most other stuff, water main flushing continuing. Other than that, we got our customers added, our water pump data and wastewater flows and lift station hours.
And
That's it.
question?
Oh, just did they identify why that water main was leaking on Schofield Avenue? One of my building where Jesse has those trailers for sale. Well, they ended up with a wet spot there.
Yeah, that was the service line leak that we had to repair there. Was that the one? I think that's the one, right, Michael? Is that where the trailers were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was one that we did not end up. I think we had two lines that we were going to upsize to 2-inch. But I think we found that they were already 1.5-inch service lines. And one had kind of a funky configuration that came over and across. We did run that one, but this one, it was just a service leak that reared its head at, I don't know if it was because the pavement was removed and it found its way to the surface there, so. But that wasn't anything to do with the actual Schofield Ave project, so.
Okay, so you didn't think that the guy breaking up the concrete or anything
No.
like that caused any kind of?
No. Yeah, the pictures aren't really clear enough to kind of see where on some of the other ones, you can kind of see that there was kind of a hole in the pipe itself where you could see the leak. So it wasn't like damaged because of removing the pavement or anything. It was just happened to be reared its ugly head during the construction process. And that one was on Jelnik there.
How deep they are?
On that one, I mean, 6 feet-ish, 6.5.
No freezing issue.
No,
Yeah, I think the one on Schofield Ave was at a coupling. where,
yeah,
You know, two different sticks were brought together and eventually it was leaking at its joint.
Water always wins.
Yeah.
I'm just glad they found it when they did.
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
yeah, that would have been eating crow if, we had a brand new road and then we were digging it up to repair a leak. That wouldn't be a good look.
no, like this one was an interesting one on Volkman where you
Yeah,
you have. our best guess is, you know, it was a rock that got put in the bedding material and over time it just slowly kind of rocked its way into, you know, puncture it, yeah. You know, that pipe's about, what, 40? Put in 81,
Yeah.
so it's probably like 44, 45 years old and,
It took it a long time.
yeah.
So I'm just hoping that the one leak we had up Weston Ave didn't cause this one, which caused the next one, which hope it's the end of it for a while here.
Yeah.
Other question? Policy discussion and recommendation, item 10. Fund number 2, iron, manganese and PFAS treatments. Project bed result. Michael?
So we did the, I guess, we'll call the well 3, PFAS pretreatment project, which is the iron manganese, portion of the pretreatment for well 3 prior to the PFAS tanks over at the water treatment plant. So we bid the project, last month. And, the low bidder was, 8 Pine Construction Inc. Or 8 Pine Inc. So that's one of the reasons why we didn't have this on the agenda last month. We wanted to get more information from the contractor as far as who they were, what experience they had, and making sure they could fulfill all the requirements of the Safe Drinking Water Loan Program. In short, it's a couple of former project managers from Myron who broke off and started their own company. They've had several projects under the 8 Pine name, working for, I don't want to get this wrong. I believe it's the Menominee tribe, doing so like they have a wastewater treatment plant. They did a school. So they've had some larger projects in recent years working under this name. They meet all the requirements, and I mean, as far as the individuals working there, they have the experience, they have the knowledge, so.
They're where? Madison area?
They're out of Shawano is where the company's located. So,
In bonding this?
yep, they got bonding, they met everything they needed to meet, so. But yeah, I mean, we had 5 bidders on the project. They were the low bidder with Myron, you know, not that far behind them. And Market and Johnson, who is, I believe, doing the project for Rothschild right now. And then Olympic Builders and Staub Construction was the high bidder. So, yeah, you know, they met all the requirements for the disadvantaged business, minority-owned businesses, making sure they follow all the Build America, Buy America requirements of the project. Their subcontractor list is all good. There's no debarred contractors. Subs that we'd be working with, somebody else got the project already, so. I guess. Feel good, I guess, as far as you can with that, so their total low bid was $3,748,603.40.
Who's the engineer, AECom?
AECom, correct.
And they recommend this, guys,
They did, yes.
to what's your wishes?
So move to recommend the village board award the well 3 PFAS pretreatment project to 8 Pine Inc. for a total project cost of $3,748,603.48, which includes the base bid and 2 elements.
40 cents.
40 cents, I mistyped that,
Oh, you did 40 cents, sorry.
40 cents, yep.
Is there a second
I'll second.
discussion? What was the engineer estimate on the project?
We're about 3.5. So if you look at the base bid was 3.54, so it's pretty close, and then the alternates add about 200,000. So one of the alternates is the BABA requirements, which I guess last month I think you missed. We talked about how initially we So the well four portion of the project was exempt from those requirements. So we went in with the assumption that well three work was also gonna be exempt from those. The DNR ended up saying, no, it's not exempt from that, so we had to add those in as alternate two. And then alternate one is replacing the driveway essentially for the treatment plant. I'm pretty sure that's the original 1986, 87 asphalt, and it's seen better days, so. So without those alternates, I mean, we're right kind of at that 3.5 number.
And then when is the starting, when is the finish of it?
So this would be a working day contract, so once we get the notice to proceed, I wanna say it's like 400 working days they get from notice of proceed to completion. So,
Year and a half, almost?
a little over a year, yeah. So usually generally on these, we wait until we have the DNR confirmation, cause we're not supposed to be, I guess, starting the project without their approval. So
Right, right.
we can start working on getting the equipment and those items procured, but actual construction wouldn't start until we get the DNR approval.
Other question? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have it, thank you. Item 11. Wisconsin Public Service easement at 5550 Municipal Street. Michael?
Yeah, so we received the easement request in the packet here, which if I go to the exhibit. Is for a thin little strip, a 12-foot wide easement across one of our properties where, so the treatment plant is this, where it says north. Then this is where the Sternberg well and the trailhead to the Mountain Bay Trail is located. And this is kind of our driveway access, so they're asking for a 12-foot easement across that to upgrade the gas service to the adjacent property. I guess my only slight concern is just, they say if we alter the grade at all, we more or less can't do that. So I guess I'd want to push back on them, so I'm not sure if there's any other
Again,
items.
I'm missing what your
Yeah.
concern was.
So if we, in the future, repave our driveway and it takes their gas line out of tolerance, they're gonna say we need to then pay them to make sure their gas line is.
The gas line is 12 feet down, correct?
No, a gas line is 3 generally.
Where did I read 12?
12-foot width is the width of the easement.
Oh, okay, all
Yeah.
right, that's the width.
And why does it say 500 feet long? I mean, crossing that driveway, it can't be 50 feet, I wouldn't think.
It is 50 feet.
I hit another 0 again, sorry. It should be 12 by 50, not 12 by 500.
How does the driveway gonna alter the? Cause you grade and then you put down your pavement, right?
Correct, yeah.
So if you repave, you're not gonna change the grade, are you? I mean, you
Could
would,
slightly.
you would just break the existing out and then repave it, right?
Yeah, I guess it just says that we would agree that,
You gotta hold harmless from.
well, that's what I'm saying is before I sign an easement though. You know, so I guess that's where, in the past, we've had the attorney review these or push, usually the hold harmless, things like that get included. But as it's written, we would be agreeing to not alter that easement area by any more than 4 inches without the written consent of WPS, so.
So this is 50 feet long, right?
You're correct, 50 feet by 12 feet.
By 12 feet.
Yeah.
Why couldn't bring it at the bottom of that driveway and running it in there? And we don't have to worry about this stuff.
We can ask that too, and we can.
Yeah, we should. I don't see why not. You can run it at the bottom of the driveway and,
I think the problem is it's this property they're trying to get to, so they don't actually have frontage to,
The answer is gonna be because it's cheaper for them to do it this way, is gonna be my guess.
yeah, it's cheaper for them to ask the public entity than it is for a
I'm just
private.
gonna throw that dart at the board and say. Yeah, for them to move it down, they'd have to pipe it down further and maybe backtrack it or something, right?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
just,
know what it
I just don't
is.
like signing things that say it's our property, but if we modify our property in the future, we have to ask you for permission first to
Sure.
do it.
What's your proposal, what's your thought for how to mitigate it?
Just ask them to remove that requirement. I mean, it just treat it like right of way, you know, right now, if they have a gas main in the right of way and we have a project that comes through and we have to cut a new ditch, they have to repipe their lines because the ditch has to go in, so.
Then why would they ask for it? Just because why not? They're just
Why
going,
not,
like, they just
right?
throw it
Like,
against the, yeah,
'cause-
okay, I'm
'cause-
with you
yeah.
then. Why don't we just ask them to remove it?
Yeah, because they would have to incur extra costs if they have to come back and relay that in the future.
You know, or we could give them two choices, move your gas line down, so it's not, we don't even need to have an easement, or waive that provision.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was just curious if there's anything else in there, because otherwise that's generally the main one that I like to try to get waived.
Before the law was, statute said, if this line are in the way of any public work, they have to remove it. And I used that on Mesca. We were gonna put 60-inch pipe in there. And I called him, I said, you gotta move the line. He said, well, you pay for it. I said, no, we're not. And I'll copy the statute and I'll send it to them. They call back next day, they say, okay, we'll do it. Now they asking for easement. We can't do that anymore. So we gotta tell them, put it where it's not gonna affect anything later on. Because if it is his easement, we can't do anything about it. We gotta follow what he's asking.
So you think we're best off just don't grant the easement, move your pipe?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little,
He'll have an easement, yes. But when we give him the easement, it's not gonna be our prerogative. When he write the easement.
yeah, I guess that's why we're trying to make it so that the easement operates like it would be right of way. I guess is my goal.
I think if you can, you should ask him to put him at the bottom of that driveway.
What business are they trying to service?
I think it's where Norcon used to be. Sure who moved in there now.
I don't know either.
And they need a larger gas line? Is that what's,
My assumption, yeah.
so it must be serviced by gas now.
Yeah, I don't know if it says if it's a replacement line or.
It's possible that building was just
They
storage.
already have an easement if they had a line there right now.
Yeah, they would have.
I mean, or you would think they would.
It just says, they received a request to upgrade or provide new gas service.
If it's new, it would make sense. If it's not, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Right.
Why he can say, I don't get the easement, I don't provide service. You already have the service, live with it.
yeah.
So, well, I agree with your concerns and
Yeah, I think Michael's going down the right trail. We need more information and then you need to.
CYA.
Yes.
yeah, I guess it,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
we should move to have them either get rid of the easement or negotiate it such that we're not put in a situation where we're gonna incur costs in the future.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, so the issue I have with this is if we get hard nosed about it. And the guy really needs service, he's gonna end up paying for it, you know, so we're gonna add expense to. You know, so yes, we can say go around or come from some other direction or whatever, well, WPS. It's not gonna be at their expense, it's gonna be at the requester's expense, so I'd like to, you know, if we can, work with the business that's there, but hold harmless. For the village as far as their coverage requirements, you know, so. You know, my
No
property,
benefit to us.
no, but you know, so my
So it
property.
shouldn't be any detriment.
Yeah, so I get their concern, you know, so. I have the major gas lines going through my property and they're always concerned about me having heavy equipment, you know, coming in with some really heavy piece of equipment and they only have 30 inches of cover, I think. And so I get that, you know, but now we're talking about a really small service line and they just need to be reasonable with this. So,
Yeah, and it's probably a situation that it'll never be an issue, but I just
right,
wanna make sure that.
Well, yeah, that's, when you look at that layout of that lot, I don't know why we
Yeah,
probably not ever gonna be in there anyway.
What would you like?
I guess
You get that?
I can see, yeah, I guess I was just curious if there's any other things that the committee maybe saw, otherwise that'd be one thing I'd go back to WPS about is the elevation restriction or saying that we need their permission to make changes, so.
Anything you do, you need their permission. See if we can put him somewhere in place, then he won't have the effect on the driveway or anything.
Yeah, so I guess I don't necessarily need a motion, I guess.
Just wait until next meeting.
Yeah, I can get back to them and see what I learn.
I would talk to them first before the letter.
Yeah.
Save you time. Okay. Is that agreeable, gentlemen?
yep,
Yep, very good.
Item 13. Hospital area paving change order number 2.
I
Yes.
like talk.
Yeah. So this change order is just kind of a follow-up to change order 1. Change order 1 was adding the roads around the hospital complex to the original 2025 various street rehab project, which was only Commerce and Ryan. At that time, when we bid in May, we thought the contractor would have enough time to complete those streets, but based on their workload and how long it took us to approve those additions, they booked more work, so that pushed them back. They're willing to work as long as the spec, is met temperature wise. So they're pushing and working Saturdays and starting Sundays too, to keep that project moving. So in an effort to help them out and give them the time they need, originally substantial completion was October 10th. So that was in our original contract. This change order is to extend that into November and give them an extra month to wrap up the remaining work on that project that we added essentially. So we added 5 more streets, give them an extra month to get those extra streets done. They're currently over in the hospital, and they're starting on the 2nd street of the 5 over there. So they're doing a major effort to us to get that done, and that's what this change order is for, is to extend that time for him.
So he's gonna have all his paving done by November 15th,
That is
right?
what they're pushing for. The biggest holdup so far has been concrete delays from their sub. We've had several hard conversations with that sub to get them here, and they finally provide someone on site. Force has been checking in with them regularly. And they're making progress now compared to what they were doing before. So the biggest holdup has been the concrete, but now they're moving, so.
The concrete, yeah, but the pavement, American Asphalt closed November 15th.
This is RC pavers.
Oh,
So
just the
that,
pavement,
yeah,
that's the concrete. No blacktop.
No, so the paver on the project is RC paver, so they have their own plant, they
aren't held,
They can extend
they
it.
can extend, they can make asphalt as long as they. feel
as long as they're
comfortable.
meeting the spec, yeah. So as long as the temperatures are working, they're gonna keep pushing to make asphalt,
So
so.
you're really,
You're really pushing it, yeah.
Anything else?
So are you allowing those guys in for partial payment of the stuff they've got done?
Yeah, anything that they have completed, we've
Okay.
We're
paid
paying
them
them
for, yeah.
You hold anything back?
Yeah, we hold back the 5-10%
5%.
retainage.
5%,
Until 50% of project completed.
yeah.
If he's completed more than 50%, you pay it.
Yeah, then we're not holding anything as long as they're showing an effort to complete it,
All
so.
right, that sounds fair to me. Well, I'll move to recommend the village board approve change order number 2 for the 2025 various street rehabilitation project.
Is there a second? You second that?
I did.
Discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed? I have it. Item 14, 2026 budget review.
So I attached where we're at currently with the 2026 budget for public works and then the water, sanitary sewer and stormwater utility. I guess in a nutshell, there's really nothing that's a major change from 2025 to 2026. I don't know if anybody looked through it, if they had any questions.
I just didn't see the total in there. Especially when it got to the salary, I didn't see it, I don't, maybe I missed something.
So like for public works, the total in 2026.
You showed the increase.
Yeah, so, well, yeah, so the 2026 budget change is actually a negative 24,348, so it goes down a little over 1%, so the 2026 budget is this 2.218650, and the amended 2025 budget was 2,242,998.
So are you actually moving some of the stuff around from one department to the other, the cost, you know?
Yeah, I think,
$24,000 deducted because you added or changed where it's being allocated?
some of it is wages going to utilities, so every year we kind of relook at where, you know,
How much you're,
all the DPW guys, so like in forest report, you know, every time somebody was adjusting a manhole or water valve, their time got billed to the water utility, sewer utility. So it's, a lot of it's trying to just balance that. We did reduce the salt budget. I guess that's probably the biggest number, change there was the salt budget.
I had a question about that one, because I thought we had this big pile that we didn't use last year.
We do, and that's why, so for salt, instead of spending 210,000 like we had budgeted, which I guess we only had 105. I put 150 in the budget for next year, so if I'd go back in time and kind of show what this looked like for the last 10 years, we generally had a $200,000 line item for salt every year. On these last,
How did we only have like, we had 105, then we doubled it to 210. And then we had a ton left over, but we're only going down to 150.
so we still budget just in case we use up everything we have right now and have emergency purchasing needs.
Okay, so you don't really, I mean,
Yeah, it's kind of building in that ability to have, you know, and
I
then,
looked at it and said, I wouldn't believe that number.
you know. But then at the same time, we've had, I mean, you know, if I go back to like 2018, 2019, we had years where we were spending over 200,000, so.
Sure, if you have a bad winter, and I know we've had 2 mild ones in
Yeah.
a row, and last year was a super mild.
or do.
And then once we adjust that number down and it no longer exists in our budget,
Okay, I get it.
it's gone. So if all of a sudden I say we only need $100,000 for salt and we have 2 bad winters, now I'm coming back here trying to figure out how do I get $100,000 back into the street maintenance or street budget. So. Yeah, so that was probably the biggest decrease right there was in the winter maintenance.
No, my other question, Michael, was on the water, or I guess maybe it's not yours, it might be Josh's, the water utility. Is the 26 reflect the increase in the rates then? That we added in, because we're still looking to operate at a loss then, right?
Yeah, slightly, kind of a break even.
And I guess my question was, because we raised rates last year, right?
Rates were last raised 2 years ago.
2 years.
So 25 was a full year with the most recent rates. So we have a little bit of a increase.
So my only question is, if we're gonna operate a loss 2 years in a row, was the rate increase not enough 2 years ago? Or do we have another one that's pending? Because it's not gonna get better next year.
Yeah, so once we kind of get through our well projects, I guess that's that's one thing I wanna look at for next year is reevaluating both water and sanitary sewer rates. You know, our estimate shows, or our budget number, so if you look at 2025, the budget had a negative net income, but our estimate is a positive number. And we've had that in a couple years in a row. And I guess it comes back down to the same thing where we kind of budget almost we budget kind of that worst case scenario of, you know, multiple main breaks, pump failures, well rehabs. And then if those things don't happen, we end up with a positive net income. So our rate of return has been positive the last 3-4 years since our, I think 2 simplified rate cases ago. So we've been able to keep up as far as what our actual net income is. You know, so and then I know also our interest income, Jessica generally budgets low. Although we did budget it a little higher next year for 2026, that's showing it, which is where we're kind of projecting more in that break-even point of the a loss of 16,000 versus last year showing, you know, a projected loss of 170. But our interest income has been pretty good the last several years. So. And then we've had some miscellaneous revenues this year for our PFAS class action lawsuit revenues. So, you know, our big net income here where we've got this 1.2 million of other water revenue. A lot of that, the majority of that is from the 3M lawsuit money. So.
Okay, thanks for the additional information.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I guess Red Mountain Metro did get us their preliminary budget. I believe tomorrow is their budget hearing.
Are you going there?
I'm like triple booked at the time of that meeting, so I may or may
I
not.
just want.
Yeah, no, they're looking at essentially a status quo budget. It's no increase, no decrease, so we're looking okay. So we're projecting the same overall budget for next year.
I just don't want them to come back and say, nobody showed up for budget here.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in contact with Eric over there at Vermont Metro, and this year we're currently trending slightly under budget, so I think it should be about the same next year. My question to them was just trying to figure out when the decrease was gonna come. We'll see.
We don't have to take any action on this, huh?
No, just
Move to what?
either move to acknowledge, you can move to. It was more of an FYI, this is where the budgets are at currently, and there wasn't any. It was really more of a discussion item, I guess.
Do you want to set a follow-up then for January or February, once we get the numbers in to see if we need an increase? Does anyone else think?
Yeah, a lot of that
What
stuff.
do we do to reassess? Is it biannual?
Yeah, and the next rate increase that we have for water utility in particular is gonna have to be probably a full-fledged PSC. I think we ran out of our simplified rate increases that we're allowed to do. You get 3 of those after a full rate increase, you get, I believe it's 3 simplified rates before they say, we want you to go over everything again, so. As part of me was trying to see what our operating costs turned into and what that looks like with the PFAS plants online. To see, you know, where those operating costs trend, even though we'd like to utilize the PFAS revenue to offset any of those additional operating costs.
When do you think you'll have the people, the ones operating
Hopefully in the next week or so,
in the next week or so, and the other ones
probably at least a year out.
a year out? But once you know the first one, you probably know the second, right?
You should, yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty big tell, right?
Yeah. And I mean, there's other things too. One of the major expenses for the water utility is its pilot payment, so our payment in lieu of taxes. So for 2026, we're budgeting 475,000. If the village's tax rate does go down, the water utility potentially would have a lower payment in lieu of taxes, so potentially that expense would be lower too, so.
I'll move to acknowledge, as presented, and also ask that you put a follow for January, February 2026 to start to look into whether or not we need an additional rate increase.
And second,
I'll second.
all in favor, signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed, I have it, thank you. Item 15. We got 9 minutes.
Yep.
2026 to 2030 capital improvement plan discussion.
So I know one thing we had talked about was the water main. So I put this table together about the miles of asbestos cement water main we had. So when we did our master plan study in 2019, at that time we had 12.17 miles. As of 2025 here, we're at 9.78 miles.
Not great improvement. I mean, how many years is that?
6, 5. So I mean, when we redid frontage, that was a quarter mile. The Weston School area was about 0.7. Crestwood Acres was a mile. In 23, we had the Apache Lane project where we crossed the river. So that was a different part of the water system. East Jelnik, Stillwater Landing, Mobile Home Park, that was about 0.4 miles. Next year, if we continue with the plan as it's laid out, that's 0.43 on Bladel, 0.73 on Fergie, about a half mile on Everest. Pine Park, Willow Cherry, Radke is a little over a mile. Business 51, I kind of called out as its own project, but that's 0.6 miles. And then Hughes Ave is 0.54. So that from where we were in 2019 to 2030, in that 10-year span, we would have gotten about 6 miles out of the system, where we'd be about half of where we were at the start there.
I think we should finish the rest of it every couple of miles every year or
And that's the goal, is to try to at least get that half mile or more every year.
half a mile. You got 9.5 left.
We have 9.5 left, and
You
then
do half a mile, that's in 19 years. Right?
it could be, yeah. I mean,
Well, you got
I said
9
at a
miles times
minimum.
2.
yeah,
So I don't think we should drag it that long because these pipe are 50 years old.
correct. I mean, so a mile of pipe is about 800 and a little over 800,000 for just the water portion. That doesn't include the street, if there's sanitary sewer. And I guess that's where we try to balance this.
And they're all very
Whole
small
system.
sections too.
Yeah. So if we can package a larger project like that Pine Park Willow Cherry one, we could probably add on to that Hughes project or maybe Everest Ave and get a couple of the stubs off the side streets and,
Find the excuse to do it, what I'm saying.
yeah, no, I
It's may affect the water, we don't know about it because 50 years, that's a long time for pipe sitting in the ground, especially this pipe.
Yeah.
So I'm concerned, I think we should move on as quickly as we could and get over with it, so.
yeah.
You do,
So I guess that was the main item I added from previous ones. Otherwise, I did attach kind of the preliminary, look at where this is. So I mean, the majority of our work will be as far as underground utility, kind of this northwest portion of the village, getting water sewer mains replaced as well as the street above it. I guess looking at our total costs of projects, we try to keep that general fund number at about $3 million. So you know, the water cost is one thing, but if we're digging up the road, I guess we need to make sure we're balancing the rest of those costs too. There are, the PSC did come out with certain rulings that other communities maybe were, I guess, misrepresenting how much of the road needed to be reconstructed due to the water main. So now they more closely analyze when you do a street project, if you're reporting any of the street costs as a water main replacement cost too. So they're.
Question?
So if you doubled the speed, where would the money come from?
Well, from water utility. That's our user fee, and always they have someone in there and we can use that money to do it. It has nothing to do with the tax or anything.
Well, okay, so the rate that we pay for water though is a concern then, not,
Well, we always have some extra money in there.
you know,
We do.
How much is so much?
Maybe $1 million, but that might get us a mile, and then our reserve is kind of back at the minimum. And I guess that.
I agree with you,
Yeah.
but I think that this needs some serious dialogue that.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I was trying to be.
I'd be all in favor of having some additional dialogue to do that, right?
Is quality of water is important thing.
Absolutely, right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And these, well, 50 years old pipe.
Yeah, and my takeaway was from it, I mean, what you wrote in here is that we're not meeting what we need to meet. I mean, is that correct?
I mean,
I mean, that paragraph you say from the water side, over our utility is just shy of 110 miles of main. If we wanted to set a goal replacing every 60 years, that'd be 1.8 miles a year. If we use 70, it's 1.6. You're saying we start looking at a minimum of 1 to 1.5 miles, which when I read that said to me, oh, then we're not even meeting the minimum of your recommendations.
yeah, so some of these are
Yeah, but
just showing the AC main, some of the other so there are projects in those years that maybe have cast iron main.
yeah, the reality is that the asbestos, the fiber asbestos is what needs the most attention, right?
Attention, yeah.
Right?
And once we get past that, I'm hoping that the service on the other stuff is gonna be, the performance is gonna be better.
Yeah.
And although, I mean, to your point, every year goes by, the cost of doing it continues to go up too.
So, and I know you don't have time now, but if we wanted to get an idea of, like, we kind of need to know numbers in order to know whether or not what we maybe want to recommend, right? I mean, do we have any idea?
Yeah, I guess that the part I was trying to get at is if we dig up a mile of pipe, you have a mile of roadway then to replace too. So if we're trying to, if we do more, that, again, that we'll do more, but then saying that there isn't a taxpayer portion of it, we can't charge the road to the water utility then. So that's where.
You don't have to open the whole road. We just cut enough for a trench to pull the pipe out. We don't pull the pipe out anyway, we crash it.
Yeah,
And place, and then place the new pipe. So,
but it's all in, yeah, and I guess where that pipe is generally, it's in a bad road, so if we're gonna.
if it's a bad road,
Yeah.
it's time to do it anyway.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting at, is it's a hard balance of. The majority of that pipe was put in the late 60s, and those roads for the most part haven't been touched since the late 60s, except for a chip seal or some of that, so drainage is poor, the road is poor.
So realistically then, Michael, when would you have time to look into this deeper where we could have some additional discussion?
I mean. Would you want more cost estimates? Would you want a better idea of where it all is, what all streets we have?
Say yes, all the above.
Okay,
I'd love to have on the agenda for every meeting,
Yes.
we discuss it
Yes,
until we get to the conclusion.
right. But given that Michael has a lot of other responsibilities, I don't want to ask him to enter into a project that he doesn't have the time to really
Yeah.
carefully look at.
I think this is something we could do late
These
fall
are-
into next spring, maybe actually assess the roads assess the road conditions with this AC main, and then we can probably start projecting something.
Something.
Yeah, and some of these streets are in Rothschild too, that we'd be looking at, so. And I know we can reach out to see if there's other methods too, you know, trenchless rehabs where maybe you still use the AC as your hose pipe, but we create a plastic pipe, you know, kind of like we would with lining sewer.
Sure.
And see, you know, if that's cost effective for us to look at something like that.
All right. Other question? Thank you, Michael.
Yep.
Future item 16, next meeting, Monday, November 10th, 2025, 4:30 PM. That's a regular meeting. Item B, Monday, December 8th, 2025, 4:30 PM. That's a regular meeting also. Item 17, topic for future meeting, village-wide Wisconsin Public Service Street Light Update. And also consolidation of Ryan Street Yard Material Site with the village of Rothschild. Remark from staff? Michael?
Just, we'll add the kind of rate increase, under that future meeting and then as well as the kind of AC water main. So like Josh said, probably that maybe December, January timeframe, we'd be able to dive into that a little better. Get a little better, idea of where we're at there.
Just keep it in front of our eyes, so.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks.
Don't forget to do the survey, and if you already did the survey, take one of these and give them to your very good friend.
I think I've already, but.
We have Earl one.
Okay, anything for us? Should we cut that corner one more time, when we get time?
Still get them.
When you get time.
Yes.
No, I mean, if you guys wanna peek at the treatment plant, let me know, we can swing you through there if you're
I want to
interested.
see that, yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can't touch any valves or anything though, hands off.
Oh, I thought you'd give me a chance to do that.
Ends in pocket.
Yeah.
Isaac?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Remark from committee member.
Nothing.
I have nothing.
Nope.
Your eyes.
I have no announcement. Accept the motion to adjourn
No.
at 6:03.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.